Welcome back to the deep dive. There's this specific kind of peace of mind you get knowing you've got reliable power. Whether you're facing down a surprise storm outage, maybe keeping a remote job site running smoothly, or even just, making sure an outdoor trip stays fun, a portable generator, it can be absolutely essential kit. But actually choosing one from all the options out there, well, that can feel a bit overwhelming, honestly. So that's exactly why today we're doing a really crucial deep dive. We're comparing two absolute heavyweight contenders, the Westinghouse WGen9500DF and the Generac GP9500. These aren't just small campsite generators. These are the machines people look to for serious, dependable backup power for their homes or demanding projects. Our mission, pretty simple really, cut through the tech specs, the marketing buzz, and really distill what matters most to help you, our listener, figure out which of these powerhouses is the right fit for your needs.
And that's spot on. This kind of comparison is so valuable because, look, both of these are incredibly capable machines. They're built tough. They deliver serious power. The goal isn't really to pick one single winner overall because, let's be honest, the best choice always boils down to your specific situation, right? Your priorities. Instead, we're going to unpack the subtle but really critical differences, the nuances that might make one a better fit than the other, depending on what you need it for. Give you that clarity.
Perfect. Okay, let's jump right in then. An initial overview, maybe. Look at what they share and where their kind of core ideas start to differ. Both the Westinghouse WGen9500DF and the Generac GP9500, like you said, are serious power units. We're talking roughly 12,500 peak watts.
Right.
And a solid 9,500 running watts on gasoline.
Yeah, that's significant power. Enough for whole house backup in many cases, running essentials like fridges, pumps, maybe even AC units or heavy tools.
Yeah.
This isn't just for small stuff.
Exactly. But you mentioned differences. Where's the first big one?
Well, it pops up right away with fuel. The Westinghouse, the WG9500DF, that's a dual fuel model, so gasoline and propane. You can switch pretty easily between them. But the Generac GP9500, it takes that a step further. It's tri-fuel, so it adds natural gas to the mix.
Ah, okay. Tri-fuel.
Yeah, and that difference, gasoline, propane, or natural gas, that can be a massive factor for you right from the start. Depends entirely on what fuel you prefer, what you have access to, especially for longer outages.
That's a really key point, the fuel flexibility. Before we dig deeper into that, though, what about the engines, the muscle behind the watts?
Good question. So the Westinghouse runs a pretty robust 457cc four-stroke OHV engine. OHV just means overhead valve, common efficient design. It also has a cast iron sleeve, which adds to durability.
Okay, 457cc and the Generac.
The Generac steps it up slightly with a 500cc OHV engine.
So a bit bigger. Does that 43cc difference actually matter much in the real world, or is it just numbers?
It's subtle. You might not feel a huge difference day to day, but that slightly larger engine on the Generac does give it a little extra grunt under really heavy load. And importantly, it's part of what allows it to run effectively on natural gas. Natural gas typically needs a bit more engine displacement to produce similar power levels compared to gasoline. So yeah, there's a reason for it.
Right, which brings us back to that fuel flexibility. So this is where it gets really interesting.
It really is. I mean, this is probably the biggest single difference that shapes how you'd actually use these in an emergency.
Okay, lay it out for us. Westinghouse first, dual fuel.
Right, Westinghouse.
Yeah.
Gasoline and propane. Super straightforward switching. Propane's big advantage, shelf life. We're talking years compared to months for gasoline.
That's huge for preparedness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can store propane tanks long-term without worry. No need to constantly rotate fuel. The downside, propane has less energy per gallon than gas, so you use more, and you need physical space for the tanks.
Gotcha. Now, Generac's tri-fuel.
Exactly. Generac adds natural gas to the gasoline and propane options, all controlled by a simple selector dial. Now, picture a really long power outage. If you have a natural gas line plumbed to your house,
okay. Direct connection.
You potentially have an almost unlimited fuel supply right from your utility. No refueling trips, no storing dozens of propane tanks. It dramatically simplifies fuel logistics in a crisis.
Wow, that sounds like a game changer if you have the gas line.
It can be. The small trade-off is usually slightly less power output on natural gas compared to gasoline or propane, but the convenience, it can be absolutely priceless for peace of mind.
So if natural gas access is a priority for you, Generac clearly pulls ahead there.
Definitely. That tri-fuel capability is its standout feature in this area.
Okay, so you've picked your fuel. The next big question, especially when things are out, is how long will this thing run before I need to mess with it again? Runtime and efficiency. You mentioned a surprise here.
Yeah, this one's quite interesting, actually. The Westinghouse WGen9500DF. It is a 6.6-gallon fuel tank, and it delivers up to 12 hours of runtime at a 50% load. Pretty impressive.
12 hours on 6.6 gallons.
All right.
And the Generac.
The Generac GP9500 actually has a larger tank, 7.5 gallons, made of steel. So you'd naturally think, okay, longer runtime.
Right. Makes sense.
But it actually provides up to 9.5 hours at that same 50% load on gasoline.
Wait, hold on. The Westinghouse smaller tank runs longer, 2.5 hours longer.
Exactly.
How does that work? That points to significantly better fuel efficiency on the Westinghouse, doesn't it?
It certainly does. It suggests the more efficient engine design, or perhaps how it's tuned, and those extra hours. That means fewer refueling trips, less hassle, especially, middle of the night, bad weather. It's a real practical advantage.
That is a major plus. Do they at least both have fuel gauges so you're not guessing?
Oh, yes, thankfully. Both units have built-in fuel gauges, so you get a clear visual on where you stand. No running dry unexpectedly.
Good. All right, let's shift gears to actually using them. Getting them started, ease of use. Convenience is key when you're stressed, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is an area where, honestly, Westinghouse really pulls ahead. The WGen9500DF has a push-button electric start, plus an automatic choke.
Nice. No pull cords, no fiddling with levers.
Exactly. Super simple.
Yeah.
But the real star feature, the one users consistently rave about, is the remote start key fob.
Remote start. How far does that reach?
An impressive 260 feet.
Wow. So you could literally be inside your house, hit the button, and the generator fires up outside.
Precisely. Think about it, pouring rain, middle of the night.
Yeah.
You don't want to go outside to start the generator. This remote is just fantastic for convenience and reducing stress.
I can absolutely see the appeal there. That's more than just a nice to have.
It really is.
You're right.
And Westinghouse doesn't stop there. It also includes what they call a VFT display, shows voltage, frequency, and lifetime hours run.
Okay, why is that useful? VFT.
Voltage and frequency monitoring helps ensure you're getting clean, stable power, which is crucial for protecting sensitive electronics, computers, TVs, modern appliances, and the lifetime hours. That's essential for keeping track of maintenance intervals, making sure you service it properly so it lasts.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's a pretty comprehensive package from Westinghouse on convenience. How does the Generac stack up?
Well, the Generac GP9500 also have an electric start.
Yeah.
Comes with the battery included, which is good. Definitely better than just a pull start.
Right.
But no remote start capability. And its control panel is more basic. It doesn't have that detailed VFT display showing volts and frequency. It does have a manual pull start backup, which is always wise to have.
Sure.
But purely on convenience features. Westinghouse clearly takes this category. That remote start and the detailed display really make a difference.
Okay, makes sense. Now, beyond just making power conveniently, safety is obviously critical. We're talking about powerful machines, potential hazards. Let's focus on safety and protection.
Crucial topic. The Westinghouse WGen9500DF covers the essentials well. It has automatic low oil shutdown that's vital, saves the engine if the oil runs low. It also features GFCI outlets, ground fault circuit interrupters. Really important safety feature, especially outdoors or in damp conditions. They cut power instantly if there's a fault, reducing shock risk. And the outlets have rubber covers for extra protection. Plus, it's EPA compliant.
Solid baseline safety. But I think you mentioned Generac has something extra here.
They do. This is where Generac brings a standout feature. Their CoSense technology.
CoSense, carbon monoxide.
Exactly. It's designed for carbon monoxide protection. This system actively monitors CO levels in the operating area and automatically shuts the generator down if dangerous levels are detected.
Wow. Given that CO is invisible and odorless, that sounds potentially life-saving.
It absolutely is. It's a significant safety innovation, especially since people sometimes accidentally run generators too close to their homes or enclosed spaces. This provides a critical safety net.
Okay, so Generac also has the low oil shutdown and covered outlets, right?
Yes, it includes those standard safety features too, and it's 49 state compliant.
But that CoSense, that really feels like a major differentiator for safety.
Without a doubt. For that reason, Generac really takes the lead in the safety category. It prompts an important question for you, the listener. How highly do you value that active CO monitoring, maybe even over something like remote start? It's a key trade-off to consider.
Definitely something to weigh. Okay, let's talk about the physical units themselves. How tough are they? How easy are they to lug around? Build quality, portability.
Right. Well, both are definitely built like tanks, designed to be workhorses. Weight-wise, the Westinghouse comes in at about 210 pounds.
Okay.
The Generac is slightly heavier, around 219 pounds.
So not exactly lightweight either way. You're not carrying these around.
No, definitely not lifting them solo. Thankfully, both come with heavy-duty, never-flat wheels, which is great for moving them over rough ground.
Yeah.
And they both have sturdy fold-down handles to help maneuver them and save space for storage.
9 pounds difference.
Uh-huh.
Probably not huge, but noticeable maybe.
Okay.
What about the actual construction? Any specific features?
Yeah, some small differences. The Westinghouse engine, as I mentioned, has that cast iron sleeve for durability. It also includes a lift bracket, which is actually quite handy for securing it during transport or maybe hoisting it if you needed to.
Okay, link bracket, good point. And Generac.
Generac emphasizes its steel tube cradle frame. It looks and feels very rugged, really designed for job site toughness, handling harsh conditions.
So both are tough. Any edge here?
Well, while the Generac frame is certainly robust, I'd give Westinghouse a slight edge just for being those 9 pounds lighter while still feeling very solidly built. That little bit less weight can make a difference when you're wrestling it into position or up a ramp.
Makes sense. Okay, let's connect these powerhouses to the real world outlets.
Yeah.
How do they stack up for plugging things in?
On this front, they're actually pretty much neck and neck. Both are really well equipped. You get multiple standard household outlets, those GFCI 120V 520R ones, for your everyday things.
Lamps, chargers, small appliances. Right.
Crucially, both have that transfer switch-ready L1430R outlet. That's the big round one you use to safely connect to your home's electrical panel via a transfer switch for backup power.
Essential for whole house backup.
Exactly. And for bigger power needs, both also include the heavy-duty RV-ready 1450R outlet, perfect for large RVs, trailers, maybe even some welders or other high-draw equipment.
So home backup, RV power, job site, they both seem to cover the bases pretty comprehensively.
Yeah. Really no clear winner here. Both offer excellent connectivity options. It's effectively a tie in terms of outlet configuration.
Okay. Now let's move beyond the specs and features. What are actual users saying? What's the real-world feedback on these two? So what does this all mean when people actually own them?
Yeah, customer reviews are always insightful. For the Westinghouse WGen9500DF, people consistently praise its reliability. They say it starts easily, even after sitting for a while. And that remote start, huge hit. Users absolutely love it. Many also feel it offers really good value for the features you get. The main point of mixed feedback seems to be noise. Some find it acceptable for its size, others think it's a bit on the loud side.
Okay, reliability and remote start are big positives for Westinghouse. What about Generac?
Generac users often mention the easy initial setup, and they confirm it delivers good, strong power for demanding loads. However, the feedback on long-term reliability seems a bit more varied compared to Westinghouse. Some report occasional starting issues, particularly if the generator hasn't been run regularly.
Reliability consistency might favor Westinghouse slightly then.
Based on the general trend of user feedback, yes, it appears that way. Noise is also a mixed bag for the Generac, similar to the Westinghouse. So overall, Westinghouse seems to edge it out slightly in terms of consistent, positive user experiences, especially around reliability and that remote start.
Reliability is definitely key. What about when things do go wrong, or you just need help? Warranty and support. That peace of mind is crucial for a big purchase like this.
Absolutely. And this is another area where Westinghouse presents a strong case. They offer a very clear, upfront, 3-year limited warranty, plus lifetime technical support.
Lifetime tech support, wow.
Yeah, and it's backed by a company that's been around since 1886. That long history gives you some confidence that they'll actually be there if you need support down the line.
That's a very long track record. How does Generac compare on warranty?
Generac's warranty details are typically available through their customer service. They're obviously a huge player known as the #1 brand in home standby generators, founded back in '59. So they have a solid reputation too. But just in terms of the clarity and accessibility of the warranty information and that super long company history suggesting stability, I'd say Westinghouse wins this category. The clearly stated 3-year warranty and lifetime support are very appealing.
Okay, last piece of the puzzle, the price. The bottom line, we know these are premium units, so they're an investment. How do they compare financially?
That's right. Neither is cheap. They reflect their power and features. But generally, the Westinghouse WGen9500DF tends to retail at a slightly lower price point than the Generac GP9500.
So, potentially better value.
Well, when you factor in its features, the remote start, the longer runtime, the clear warranty, and combine that with a slightly lower typical price, yeah, it makes a very compelling value proposition. You're getting a lot of generator for the money.
Okay, wow. We've really covered a lot of ground, comparing these two beasts feature by feature. Let's try and synthesize this for everyone listening, help you make that final call. It seems like if you're the kind of person who puts a high value on convenience, that easy remote start, and you want the maximum runtime efficiency from your fuel, plus you appreciate those advanced display features for monitoring, and you want that proven reliability backed by a strong, clear warranty, then the Westinghouse WGen9500DF really seems to tick those boxes. It's kind of geared towards ease of use and sustained operation.
Exactly. But on the flip side, if your absolute top priority is fuel flexibility, maybe you have that natural gas line ready to go and want the ultimate convenience of hooking directly into it for potentially endless runtime during a long outage, then the Generac GP9500 clearly leads the way with its tri-fuel capability. And of course, you can't overlook that consensus technology. If advanced carbon monoxide safety monitoring is paramount for your peace of mind, perhaps above all else, then Generac is the obvious choice there.
Right.
Ultimately, both are fantastic generators. They're serious investments designed to provide reliable power when you need it most. It just comes down to which set of strengths aligns best with your specific needs and priorities.
So it really makes you think, beyond just, keeping the lights on, what does feeling prepared and self-sufficient truly mean to you in any situation? And how does the generator you choose reflect that personal vision of security and readiness? Definitely something to ponder. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.